This isn't just another celebrity drama. This is the story of a shocking betrayal, an invasion of privacy, and an emotional spiral that has gripped the world.
I'm gonna get my back blown out in peace. You think I got time to talk about a divorce that's a year old?
It's a story that started with a private argument but exploded into a public spectacle, tearing apart families, relationships, and trust. A story of secrets exposed, hearts broken, and a courtroom of public opinion that will never look at these stars the same way again. The case of Iman Shumpert, Tayana Taylor, and Aaron Pierre is no ordinary scandal. It's one that goes deep into the emotional lives of those involved, involving not just their personal feelings, but also the pressures and consequences of living. Under the public's gaze, Iman Shumpert, a former NBA star, a man once celebrated for his achievements on the court. He was known for his athleticism, his sharp skills, and his marriage to one of the entertainment industry's brightest stars. But today, his actions off the court have put his career and personal life in jeopardy. Why? Because of one video. A video no one was ever supposed to see. A video that could have been easily erased. A private confrontation between two lovers. But now, it's gone viral. And it's forcing everyone involved to face the consequences. Once a respected public figure, now his name has been marred by the actions captured in that viral footage. It all began with what seemed like a small argument. A heated exchange between Tayana Taylor, a superstar in her own right, and her rumored boyfriend, actor Aaron Pierre. Their voices rose in anger, their emotions raw and unfiltered. Tayana visibly distressed, accusing Aaron of crossing boundaries. An argument that seemed so personal, so intimate. The tension was palpable. This was no typical argument. This was a relationship on the edge of breaking. The emotional cost was visible on both of their faces. But what neither of them knew was that someone was lurking in the shadows. Someone who had been part of their lives for years. Someone who should have been the protector of their privacy. Iman Shumpert. He wasn't just a witness to the fight. Instead of stepping in to mediate, to calm things down, Iman did something no one could have predicted. He filmed it. He filmed this deeply personal moment, capturing it all through his phone. It was a private exchange between two people who never expected their emotions would be documented. And yet, there it was. The raw footage of an argument that was never meant to be seen by anyone else. Iman, rather than stepping in to stop the fight, rather than intervening or offering a hand of support, decided to pull out his phone and record. The situation from behind the scenes. It wasn't just the filming that shocked the world, but the fact that he did so without either Tayana or Aaron's knowledge. His presence was silent, his role invisible to the two people caught in the heat of the moment. But the footage he captured spoke volumes. It was raw, it was real, and it's out there now, available for everyone to dissect, criticize, and judge. No one could have anticipated that a simple action like filming a private moment would lead to such monumental consequences. Once the video leaked, it didn't take long for it to spiral out of control. What was once a private, heartbreaking moment quickly became a global spectacle. The video, blurry and grainy at first, began to spread like wildfire across social media platforms. It started on Twitter, then exploded on Instagram, TikTok. The firestorm ignited in mere seconds, and suddenly, everyone had an opinion. The public's insatiable hunger for drama devoured the footage, breaking it down piece by piece, tearing apart the emotional layers of what was originally a personal, heated exchange. Fans, critics, and media outlets scrambled to dissect every second of the footage. Was Iman just protecting his daughter? Was he documenting something he thought was inappropriate or dangerous? Or was this a malicious attempt to publicly humiliate Tayana and Aaron, to tear them down in front of the entire world? The questions piled up faster than anyone could answer, but one thing was clear. The video was out. And now, there was no taking it back. The raw emotions in the video were undeniable. Tayana, her hands shaking, her voice quivering as she points, angrily at Aaron, accusing him of disrespect. Her body language, her frustration, and the tears welling up in her eyes were all visible. But Aaron, despite his apparent frustration, tried to stay composed. The tension was thick, his body language tight, and it was clear that this was not just a casual disagreement, it was a deeply emotional confrontation. This wasn't just an argument about petty matters, it was a relationship breaking down. In real time, And that rawness was captured for the world to see. It wasn't just uncomfortable to watch, it felt invasive. But neither of them knew that this vulnerable moment was being documented. As the video spread like wildfire, the public's reaction was swift and intense. Fans were divided. Some sided with Iman, believing that he was simply trying to protect his daughter, documenting what he saw as troubling behavior. Others were furious. They saw Iman's actions as a betrayal, an invasion of Tayana's privacy at her most vulnerable moment. The internet exploded with opinions, memes, and outrage, with users from all corners of the web offering their thoughts on the matter. Iman's supporters argued that he was just trying to safeguard his family. Perhaps he believed that what was happening in that moment was inappropriate, especially with their daughter potentially being involved. Maybe he thought this was his only way to defend his role as a father, as someone who wanted to protect his child from possible harm. But Tayana's supporters saw it as a blatant violation of trust, an intrusion into a moment that should have remained private. They saw a man who once vowed to protect her and their child, now using his phone as a weapon of betrayal. But the real tragedy in this situation, Tayana never knew this video would be released. She never consented to having this private, painful exchange recorded for the world to watch. And yet, now the world was seeing her every tear, every moment of heartbreak, every painful second. Her privacy had been stripped away from her without her knowledge or consent. And that hurt more than any public backlash ever could. Teyana, who had trusted Iman as a co-parent and partner, was blindsided by this betrayal. She couldn't believe that something so personal had been exposed. To her, it wasn't just a moment of frustration or a typical argument. It was a violation of her trust, her privacy, and the boundaries they had once agreed upon as parents. The pain was deep. She was furious. She felt humiliated, exposed in front of millions of strangers. And worse still, this video was a direct reflection of the intimacy she had shared with Iman, the one person she thought she could trust. Tayana's supporters quickly rallied around her, calling out Iman for what they saw as an unforgivable breach of trust. They saw a woman who had been wronged, a mother who had been betrayed by someone she once trusted with her heart and her family. Her legal team went into overdrive, demanding the video's removal from every platform that hosted it. They filed takedown requests with Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. But as we all know, once something goes viral, there's no real way to undo the damage. The video had already spread far and wide, leaving a trail of destruction behind it. The emotional toll on Tayana was immense. She wasn't just embarrassed by the video. She was deeply hurt by the betrayal. This wasn't a case of petty drama. It was a personal, emotional moment that had been stolen from her. And now, she was left fighting not just for her reputation, but for the peace and privacy of her family. And then there's Iman, the man who was once a beloved public figure, known for his charm and success on the basketball court. But now, Iman finds himself at the center of a scandal that threatens to destroy everything he has worked for. The world is waiting for him to explain himself, but Iman remains silent. No public statement, no apology, not a single word of explanation. He remains tight-lipped, leaving the public to wonder, why? What could possibly justify such an invasion of privacy? Iman's silence only added to the drama. Was he guilty of a calculated betrayal, or was he simply trying to protect his daughter in a moment he deemed unsafe? Was this an act of revenge against Tayana, a way to publicly shame her and assert control over the situation? Or was he acting out of some misguided sense of self-righteousness? No one knew for sure, but the longer he stayed silent, the more speculation ran wild. Tayana's legal team took swift action, filing lawsuits to remove the video from every platform. But it was clear that the legal battle had only just begun. Tayana wasn't just fighting for privacy, she was fighting for her family's future. She was trying to regain control over a situation that had spiraled out of control. But in a world where social media and public opinion often outweigh legal proceedings, reclaiming that control was going to be an uphill battle. Now, the ultimate question remains. Can Iman and Tayana rebuild what they once had? Can they continue to co-parent and maintain some semblance of a peaceful relationship after such a public betrayal? Some insiders suggest that their relationship, already fragile, is beyond repair. What began as a broken partnership may now be completely destroyed. But will this scandal mark the end of their co-parenting arrangement? Or is this just another messy chapter in an already complicated relationship? Everyone involved in this scandal has been forever changed. Iman's reputation, once untarnished, is now at risk. Tayana, stripped of her privacy and dignity, has no choice but to fight for the peace and stability she so desperately needs. And Aaron Pierre, caught in the crossfire, must now figure out how to navigate the public fallout and protect his own reputation. The video, once just a personal moment, is now a global event, a symbol of how quickly privacy can be destroyed in today's digital age. And as the saga continues, one thing is certain: the fallout from this scandal is far from over. With legal, emotional, and reputational consequences for everyone involved, this drama is just beginning. As this scandal continues to unfold, we can't help but ask, where does this leave the people involved? The emotional toll on Teyana is undeniable. A woman who once lived a life of fame and success now finds herself fighting not just for her privacy, but for her peace of mind. Her every step is now watched, her every move dissected by a public that is hungry for more. The trust she once had in the people closest to her has been shattered. And the worst part, it wasn't her decision to expose herself to the world. It was taken from her. Iman's betrayal has not only affected their relationship, but has shaken the very foundation of their co-parenting arrangement. For Teyana, the consequences go beyond the viral video. It's about what happens next. How does she protect her daughter? How does she move forward when one of the people she trusted the most has violated her most personal moment? Her heartbreak is real, and the pain of this betrayal will likely follow her for a long time. But Iman, what does he have to say about all of this? His silence is deafening. He remains an enigma, offering no answers, no apologies. His actions have left fans wondering if he genuinely regrets what he did, or if this is just a calculated attempt to avoid the public backlash. Was his filming of this private moment out of concern for his
I want to get my back blown out in peace. You think I got time to talk about a divorce that's a year old?
Or was it part of a much larger plan to manipulate the situation for his own benefit? The internet, as always, is filled with speculation, and the silence only fuels it further. Some fans believe that Iman's silence speaks to a deeper truth. Perhaps he feels justified in what he did, believing that capturing the moment on video was necessary for his protection. Others, however, see it as a cowardly attempt to avoid accountability for his actions. It's a silence that could cost him dearly. The public, the media, and even his closest supporters are left to wonder, can Iman ever recover from this? Teyana, on the other hand, is in the middle of one of the hardest battles of her life. Her life, once filled with a sense of control, is now out of her hands. The viral video was just the beginning of what seems to be an ongoing scandal. The psychological and emotional toll this is taking on her is something we may never fully understand. Behind the public persona is a woman who is now fighting for her dignity, her peace, and the future of her family. And let's not forget about Aaron Pierre. Although he didn't ask for any of this, he now finds himself caught in the middle of an ongoing firestorm. His relationship with Teyana, once private, is now on public display.
Now, I can't say I'm mad. I might even be happy. But damn, another one bites the dust. And I can't be mad because I can't fight. I can't fight. I can't fight. Okay.
And as the internet continues to speculate and pass judgment, Aaron's reputation hangs in the balance. He is left to wonder how this will impact not just his relationship with Teyana, but his future in the public eye. Aaron is not alone in this. He, too, must now navigate the complicated web of media scrutiny, public backlash, and the consequences of being thrust into a scandal he didn't create. Is Aaron guilty of anything? Or is he simply another casualty in the emotional drama between Teyana and Iman? Only time will tell, but it's clear that his role in this scandal is one that will leave a lasting mark. Meanwhile, Teyana is focused on one thing: protecting her future. What once seemed like a simple co-parenting relationship with Iman has now been overshadowed by the betrayal. The emotional fallout has already begun to impact her, And every step she takes moving forward is clouded by the question of whether she can trust Iman again. But beyond the emotional, she must now also consider the legal ramifications. Could there be a restraining order in the future? Could this lead to new custody arrangements for their daughter? Her legal team is already hard at work. But as we've seen, the internet doesn't wait for the courts. Once something goes viral, it's nearly impossible to take it back. And the damage, in many ways, is irreversible. As Teyana navigates this new reality, she is left to pick up the pieces, with the public watching her every move. Every word she says, every decision she makes, will be scrutinized. This is the price of living under a microscope, and Teyana is paying it in full. For Iman, the road ahead is uncertain. Will he take accountability for his actions, or will he remain silent? His future in the public eye is now in jeopardy. His reputation, once built on years of hard work and success, now teeters on the edge of collapse. The world is watching, waiting for his next move. Will he redeem himself, or will this scandal haunt him forever? The scandal, once just a video of a private argument, has now turned into a massive public spectacle. Everyone involved is affected in ways that go beyond what we can see on the surface. The emotional and psychological impacts of what happened will stay with them, whether or not they want them to. The viral nature of the video has made this an inescapable event, one that will continue to unfold for the foreseeable future. As the days pass, we can't help but wonder what will happen. Next, will Teyana and Iman ever rebuild their fractured relationship? Will they be able to co-parent without this cloud hanging over them? Or will this scandal mark the definitive end of their partnership, both as parents and as ex-partners? The answers to these questions are still unclear, but one thing is certain: this is far from over. So, what do you think? Was Iman justified in filming this private moment, or was he crossing a line that will never be forgotten? And what about Teyana? Can she ever move past this betrayal? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.